Welcome to the Red Shoe Realty podcast. I'm Stacy Sappington. I'm the broker owner of Red Shoe Realty, and this brokerage and this podcast is built for the agent to give you the tools that you need to succeed in this business. But if you're not an agent, come on in and have a seat. I guarantee that you will find value here too. And today I am so excited to be talking with my friend and my photographer, Chelsea Williams. Chelsea, welcome and thank you.
Hi, Stacy. Thank you for letting me come on. And I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Yeah, me too. I was really looking forward to this. I love talking to you anyway. So I was excited. My experience with you and my photo shoot, and I'm going to share some videos throughout the podcast so that people can see my personal photos. It was one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had, not just with photography, but just in general. It did so much for me. And it was really obvious to me that you are different from any photographer I've ever known. So talk to me about your philosophy behind your business. What makes you different?
I think part of what makes me different is just that I relate so much to my clients and that I really try to see things through their eyes. I very much focus my photography on making people feel amazing about themselves and finding that light that makes them unique and makes them shine and just bringing that out. And it just gives everybody a very genuine experience because they're not trying to be like anybody else. Let's just, be you and be the very best version of you. And I think I relate to my clients just because we've all had different seasons of our lives where, we're small, we're big, we've got kids in the house, all these different things. But you got to love yourself in the journey of that. Not every day is going to be perfect. There's going to be very, very few days that you feel like it's perfect. So you got to just love yourself along the way.
Yeah, that is so true. And you know what? That's a good point that you make. I think that a lot of times when we go into a photo shoot or, something like that, we feel like we've got to be this certain thing, and it really is about being different and being unique. So I love that. I love that philosophy. I truly felt so amazing in my photo shoot. And to be honest with you, I didn't expect to be as comfortable as I was. I expected to be nervous and, I don't know what do I do? I never know what to do with my hands, but I felt so comfortable. How do you create that atmosphere in your studio?
Well, I think the first step is that because for my custom sessions, I meet with clients ahead of time. Yeah. So it gives us a chance to get to know each other before I shove a camera in your face. And a lot of times we're looking at wardrobe and stuff, and women don't necessarily welcome other women into their closets. So if we get to that level, we're immediately at a certain comfort level together, right?
Yeah.
So just taking the time to get to know somebody a little bit before you're like, okay, and smile. And then by the time a client gets to my studio, then they're going into hair and makeup. And then you're either talking to me or you're talking to a makeup artist. And it's just one more level of relaxation, getting out of your head. Because so much of it is just, you can see when somebody's in their head in a photo shoot and it reflects on their face. But my job is to get all that out of the way so we can really see you.
Yeah. So talk to me, I was going to ask you, talk to me about the day of, but you just reminded me that your process starts way before the day of. So walk me through your process as a client. What does that look like?
So for me, the very first step is getting somebody on the phone because, you have people who they're busy. I get it. they'll text, they'll message, they'll email, and they just want bare minimum information. And because my process is so hands-on, I really need somebody to get on the phone with me. And if they won't get on the phone with me, it's just not a good fit, because they need to understand from the beginning that it's very hands-on.
Yeah.
And then that's the first level of like, tell me what you want your images to say about you. And a lot of times nobody's thought about that. And they're like,
Okay.
I don't know. Well, your image is putting a message out there for everybody to see. What do you want that message to be? And so, not that I need the answers right then, but it's a starting point for somebody to think about it.
Right.
And then about a week before the shoot, I go to their house, and I like going to my clients, one, because they have all their stuff there. So they can show me the clothes that they were thinking. And a lot of times women have outfits that they haven't worn in 5 years, but I'm like, that would photograph really well. And they just weren't even thinking about it. And a lot of times people don't know what they don't know. And
Right.
so it's not my client's job to know what looks best on camera. It's my job to know what looks best on camera. And so I try to help people with that. And there are things that I would tell people to wear for a photo shoot that you wouldn't necessarily always wear walking around to dinner. Like, I really believe form-fitting clothes look best on camera. And so there's been times I've worn clothes for a photo shoot that my daughter's like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, well, don't worry. I'm not going out in public in this. It's just to smooth everything out. So I think that part of it helps. And then at the style consultation, we go over inspiration images, because everybody's different. And people can't usually tell me in words what they like and what they don't like. But when I can show them images, and I do not ask people to send me Pinterest images, because I will get the weirdest assortment of things. But I have a curated boards that reflect my style, but then people will go through and I'll notice some people pick out all images where women aren't smiling. And I'm like, did you realize that, that was reflected here? And they're like, well, I didn't think about it, but actually. Or, sometimes people see images with arms closed and they're like, no, I do not want any closed off body language. So it's a good way for me to get feedback so that expectations are met at the shoot. Because I can have it in my mind what somebody wants and they're thinking something completely differently. So the style and concept consultation helps us get on the same page as far as expectations.
Yeah. And you know what? When you were talking about that, I was thinking about my white dress. I would have never, ever worn that white dress. I would have never bought it. But because of our conversation and because of, you really educating me on what looks good, those are some of my favorite pictures in that white dress. And I'm telling you, I would never have worn that dress if you hadn't really, encouraged me.
You look stunning.
I loved it. I mean, there weren't any of my photos that I didn't love. I loved every single one, which I didn't expect that, but yeah, that consultation was so valuable to me, because if I would have been on my own, I would have played it really, really safe, and I really wouldn't have worn things that did photograph well.
Right.
So yeah,
I think a lot of people think, well, it's just branding. It's just headshots. Like, I don't need all that. But you do have to remember, you're investing in yourself, and you're investing in what people are thinking about you.
Yeah.
And even if it is branding or headshots or things like that, you really have to think, well, I mean, putting thought into wardrobe, it just gives a better finished product.
Yeah.
And so I don't like skipping that step. I won't skip that step. And then again, by the time we get to the shoot day, we already have enough of a connection that you're not terrified walking in.
Right.
Because a lot of women are. And I keep saying women, I do shoot men. But I understand a woman's mind and how nervous they can be.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. I've been that nervous. I've had my friends and other photographers photograph me, And I felt those nerves. And I have very much myself thought, what am I doing? I should leave. And you just got to fight through that sometimes.
Yeah. So, okay. So then that, so now we've done the consultation. Talk to me about the day of the fun. Oh my God, fun part.
So the day of, I really just want it to be a good vibe when my client walks in. So set your stuff down. Don't worry about it. Put it anywhere. Um, Sit down for hair and makeup. I always like to have, I have water and things like that. But if a client wants a mimosa, that's going to happen because not that we're here like I don't want you so wobbly that you're not going to be able to stand for the photos, but a little mimosa does not hurt when it comes to
Yep.
relaxing for a photo shoot.
Yep.
Um, and then just like I always like to know what my client's favorite music is. Like let me know what your favorite music is because you know what, this should be fun. And so we put on some music, and it just helps everybody like okay, like I'm getting in my zone. Um, and I have makeup artists that work really hard to make everybody look like themselves, just the very best version of themselves for camera. So I think a lot of people are worried that getting their hair and makeup done will make them look like a completely different person because some people have had that experience. Some people have
Yeah.
gone to a makeup artist and it made them look like a completely different person.
Right.
But my makeup artists work very hard to make sure it's you, just enough for camera. Because
Right.
I know me personally, I can do my own makeup. Somebody will snap a picture of me at a networking event or something, and it looks like I have no makeup on.
I'm the same way. I understand what you're saying, but I was really happy with my makeup. And you're right. I did still look like myself, but I still looked, made up too. So she did a wonderful job.
And they understand people's comfort levels. So,
Mm,
like, if people have a more natural look, okay, there is a makeup look that is natural. And
right.
then if you want, like, if we're doing boudoir or something and you want some serious glam, we can do that too. Like, there are levels that we can get to. So I think my makeup artists are very good in the conversations that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then that also makes you feel more comfortable because if you're looking in the mirror and you see yourself, just a really good version of yourself,
Yeah.
that makes you more comfortable.
Yeah.
And then by the time I say, okay, come on, you're ready, let's go. Like, let's start with this outfit. And I usually try to guide people. Most people bring suitcases and just massive amounts of clothes. And that's good because it's better to have more than you need than not enough. And we can always pare down. And I like to have the chance to say, you know what, this one's amazing. Let's start with this one. And usually I don't pick the favorite outfit to start with because I want to give a buffer room for people to get into the
Yeah.
energy of it. Um,
Groove.
yeah. And then by the time we're shooting, it just feels like we're having fun.
It
And
really did. I was really shocked by that, Chelsea. I was.
yeah, and that's my goal is like, we're here to have fun. Like, just let go of all your ideas of the end result. Like, we're not thinking about that right now. Let's just laugh and have a good time. And that's how you capture the most genuine version of somebody.
Yeah. Well, you nailed it. I could not have been more pleased with my photos. And I decided to invest in pieces that I could actually hang in my house. And I was really, really happy that I did that. I know that there's two pieces of it for you, the actual images, but then also the experience. Talk to me about the value of both of those things.
So for me, everybody's coming to me because they want a final product. You either need digitals to put on your Facebook and website and business cards, or you come in with a mind of, I need something to hang on my wall. And sometimes people don't think that far ahead. But then once we get through the process, they're like, oh, I really do want something.
Yeah.
And for me, I focus on the experience of it. I'm not worried about the piece of paper that we're going to end up with. I'm worried about making somebody feel amazing. And I think a lot of women walk around not feeling good in their own skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to take this time to make them realize that they are absolutely beautiful and should be extremely proud of who they are. And then when we get to that final product is just a reminder of that. A reminder, a daily reminder that hopefully you put it up on your wall. But, if not, you can at least look at your website or something and be like, wow, I am amazing. I am strong and powerful and I am hot and all that stuff. Like I want to focus my energy on reminding people who they are. And then that final product is just positive affirmation that they can look at that says, yep, I am an amazing person.
Yeah. And I can attest to that. I'll tell you, whenever you came to my house and hung my pieces, um, for the first few days, I was almost uncomfortable to see myself like hanging on the wall, and I got a pretty big one. And it was somewhat uncomfortable for me. But after a few days, when I guess I kind of, got used to it, it really does serve as that reminder. And some days, frankly, we need that reminder that we are amazing, that we are badass,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what those pieces have done for me. And so thank you so, so much for giving me that and that experience. It was so valuable to me.
Well, thank you for embracing it. I try to tell people it's not vanity to put a picture of yourself on the wall. It's sanity because I've got small kids, and especially during like lockdown and everything, when you don't leave your house for a few days and you're not putting makeup on, and maybe you didn't put pants on for a few days, like you can at least look at that picture of yourself and be like, okay, I'm still like a wonderful, amazing, strong person. And not that it's all about looks. That's not what I'm trying to say. It's not about looks. It's about owning who you are.
Right.
And so there are a lot of days where I've got mom bun and no makeup. But if I can look at a powerful picture of myself, I'm just like, you know what? It's okay. It's just reminding yourself who you are.
Right. That's a really good point because it's not about the looks. For me, I knew when I was driving to my photo shoot, I was like, whatever is inside of me is what is about to come out. And you captured exactly what was inside of me. And on our tough days, we need that reminder that there is a badass inside of me. And that's sometimes hard to remember on the tough days.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. So if someone wanted to work with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
So I always recommend people call me first. That's the first step because then we can just talk. So I'll let you post my phone number.
Okay.
But then if somebody just wants to, like, if they're not sure, if they're just kind of curious, just check out my website. It's just Chelsea Williams Photography. Um, and sometimes after people look at my website, I have before and afters on there. And I don't post those to be like, look how bad this person looked before. No, I post them just to humanize the people in the pictures.
Right.
To say, this woman, even though she looks like a model here, really, she's a mom, a grandma. Like, these are just people. And
right.
Guess what? Because I think it's easy for people to say, well, that's wonderful, but I could never do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why? You can definitely do that. You are strong and powerful and beautiful and gorgeous. And so I think when people see other people stepping out in that way, they're like, oh, yeah, that mom did that, and
Yeah.
it just kind of lets them have permission. They're trying to give themselves permission to do something amazing, but all of us can do something amazing.
Yeah. That is so true. Well, you, my friend, are so, so talented.
Thank you.
So, and thank you so much for being a guest on my podcast. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I feel so special that you invited me on.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time.